haunting of Hollowbrook House. When the Whitaker family moved to Hollowbrook House, they believed they were starting a new chapter of their lives. The grand Victorian mansion, nestled on the outskirts of a small town, seemed like the perfect place to escape the chaos of city life. With its sprawling gardens, intricate woodwork, and charming history, Hollowbrook House was everything they had ever dreamed of. Tom and Emma Whitaker, along with their two children, Lily and Ben, were excited about the change. Tom had recently secured a remote job that allowed him to work from home, and Emma, a freelance writer, saw the house as a source of endless inspiration. The first few weeks were idyllic. The children explored the vast gardens, Emma set up her writing nook in a cozy corner of the library, and Tom enjoyed his new office with a view of the rolling hills. However, it wasn't long before strange things began to happen. It started with small, almost imperceptible events. Objects would move from their original places, doors would creak open on their own, and there were odd cold spots in certain rooms. The family brushed these off as quirks of an old house, but then the disturbances became more pronounced and violent. Lily, the youngest, was the first to encounter the more frightening aspects of Hollowbrook House. She woke up one night to the sound of whispering. As she rubbed her eyes and sat up, she saw a shadowy figure standing at the foot of her bed. It was a woman in an old-fashioned dress, her eyes filled with sorrow and anger. Lily screamed, and the figure lunged at her before vanishing. Tom and Emma tried to reassure Lily, attributing the vision to a nightmare, but the next night, Ben experienced something similar. He heard footsteps outside his room, and when he opened the door, saw the same shadowy woman gliding down the hallway. Ben was brave and tried to follow her, but she disappeared into the wall, leaving behind deep bloody scratches on the wallpaper. Realizing that something was very wrong, Tom and Emma decided to investigate the history of Hollowbrook House. They visited the local library and spoke to longtime residents. They learned that the house had been built in the late 1800s by a wealthy industrialist named Charles Hollowbrook. Charles had lived there with his wife Eliza and their young daughter Margaret. Tragically, Margaret had drowned in the nearby river, and Eliza, heartbroken, had taken her own life shortly afterward. Charles, consumed by grief, had abandoned the house, which had stood empty for years before being sold. Armed with this knowledge, the Whitakers returned home. Determined to help the restless spirits find peace, they discovered an old journal hidden in the attic, written by Eliza. It detailed her profound sorrow, her descent into madness, and her belief that she and Margaret were bound to the house by a curse. The journal also revealed that Eliza had not just taken her own life, but had also tried to summon dark forces to bring Margaret back, accidentally binding malevolent entities to the house. As they delved deeper, the hauntings intensified and became more brutal. Eliza's spirit seemed to be trying to communicate, guiding them to hidden parts of the house. One night, they followed a series of ghostly whispers to the basement, where they found a hidden door leading to a small, forgotten chapel. Inside, they discovered a locket with Margaret's picture and a letter from Eliza, asking for forgiveness and expressing her undying love for her daughter. As they read the letter, the temperature in the room plummeted, and the malevolent entities Eliza had summoned began to manifest. They were grotesque, twisted figures, oozing malice and rage. The family fought to stay together, using the power of the letter and the locket to push back against the dark forces. The spirits attacked viciously, leaving scratches and bruises on the Whitakers, but their resolve remained unbroken. In a desperate bid to end the torment, Emma began to read Eliza's letter aloud, her voice shaking but determined. As she spoke, the chapel seemed to come alive with a blinding light. The malevolent entities screamed and writhed, unable to withstand the purity of Eliza's love and remorse. Eliza's spirit appeared, holding Margaret's hand, and confronted the dark forces. With a final heart-wrenching plea, Eliza banished the entities from the house, sacrificing the last of her own spirit to do so. The house was silent after that, the oppressive atmosphere lifting as the spirits found peace. The Whitakers felt a renewed sense of warmth and comfort in their home. Tom and Emma shared the story of Hollowbrook House with the townspeople, who were relieved and grateful that the haunting had been resolved. In the following months, the Whitaker family flourished. Emma's writing thrived with a newfound tranquility, Tom excelled in his job, and the children felt safe and happy. Hollowbrook House, once a place of sorrow, became a beacon of love and renewal. The Whitakers knew that they had not only found a house but a home, one where past and present could coexist in harmony. They often visited the small chapel, keeping it well maintained as a tribute to Eliza and Margaret, ensuring that their story would never be forgotten. And so, the Whitaker family lived happily in Hollowbrook House, their lives enriched by the history they had uncovered and the peace they had restored.